I'm also a daughter, a sister, and a girlfriend. But most importantly, I'm a mother. Throughout my life experiences, I have learned that sometimes our own identities can come in conflict with each other. Being both a mother and a student can be difficult, to say the least. I must be very diligent about my time to ensure that all the people in my life are cared for, namely my son, and that my studies are tended to. But more importantly, I must be very diligent about my budget. Balancing tuition, books, gas, and daycare has become an art. With rising costs of tuition, my balancing act has become more of a tightrope walk. Each year, I must ask myself if returning to school is worth the exorbitant amount of money that it will cost me. I am currently $33,588 in debt to the Nova Scotia government and also to the federal government.
Yay!
This does not include next year. Because I am a single mother, student loans provides me with an increased living allowance. However, this money is added to my overall loan.
Yay!
While I receive needs-based grants, this has barely made a dent in what I owe them. Instead, my parents have allowed me to move back home and live rent-free. I drive 45 minutes to and from class every single day. My son is in daycare to save for the extra $10 a day that it would cost to put him in preschool. With every purchase, I must question need versus want. On top of this, I pick up shifts throughout the year on top of studying and being a single mom, and I work full-time every single summer, putting away every single penny and all the unused portions of my loan so that I can make the payments after I graduate. All of this, and more so than the grants, has helped reduce my debt. However, I'm one of the lucky ones. My parents fully support me and can afford to feed 2 more mouths. Others in my situation are not. While I must wonder if my growing debts are worth my degree, for many single parents across the country, university is completely out of the question. I know women who are kicked out by their parents after learning they were pregnant. I know single fathers who work minimum wage jobs and can barely afford life's necessities, let alone tuition. The rising cost of tuition is stealing their potential. Who knows what these men and women can become if they had an education? Unfortunately for many, we will never find out. For single parents, getting a loan is never enough. We need support from our families, from our government, and from our universities. We need a babysitter, not only for class time, but to complete assignments, to meet with groups and professors, to attend lectures outside of class, and to do our research. My parents are supportive enough to babysit my child when I need them to, and my babysitter is one of the most amazing and accommodating babysitters available. Again, I am very lucky. If rising cost of tuition is not enough to scare off our young parents, then the lack of support and babysitting may very well finish it off. For a tuition increase of 3%, Acadia doesn't even have a daycare. When I asked about childcare options, I was directed to the daycare down the street. If tuition has to go up, the least our university can do is provide better and more inclusive services to their students. I wish that I could tell you how many students would benefit from these services, but the reality is that we are so isolated that we don't know. But the reality is, there is no way of knowing, and there is no way for us to support each other, unless we are fortunate enough to be in each other's classes. 1 second. There we go. We need this university to recognize that there is a subpopulation among us that needs support, and that we require these supports to attend university. In the beginning, university was for the elite, the rich, and the white males of society. Slowly over time, we began including other races, socioeconomic statuses, and women. However, the rising cost of tuition is rapidly reverting us back to those days and forming a border of exclusivity around our university. This is not okay, and we must fight. But this rally cannot only be to stand up for our wallets, but for those in our communities who currently don't have the opportunity to be in our position. We must rally around those in our community who have the wherewithal academically to achieve what they cannot financially. We must let the government know that is killing the potential of our fellow would-be students by charging high tuition with no support. We must demand to have our tuition count towards more supportive learning environments. We must demand a more accessible education for the people from all walks of life. We must remind the government that tuition is a right and not a privilege for those lucky enough to be deemed worthy by society. We must fight. Thank you.